now let's look at our big number one thing that we want to look at, creating a message. I can either click here on this button, or I can click up here where it says messages. Either one will take you to the message area. So I'm going to not I'm not going to bring these up right yet. Let's look at what's here in front of us now. The default is that it's set to be sent as an email. So noticing down here in the bottom, color is important. If you want something to be sent out, whether it's an email, a text, or a phone call, color has to be in those circles. So if you notice, email is that turquoise, but the text and the phone call right now are gray. There's no color there. So we're going to come back to those after we get our email set. If we look over, starting up here in this upper right-hand corner, sorry, left hand, military right. So in my left-hand corner, where it says type a subject, what do you, as with anything, when you type an email, what do you want your subject to be? This could be well wishes. Now, instead of typing a search, so I have to search for my students that I want, this is actually broken down into class periods. Now, you may have something similar to this, where you have 2 class periods of period 1, 2 class periods of period 2. This is all based off of the scheduling with the course and section numbers that are associated, whether it be ESL students, some of your SPED students would be in the different kind of section or a course, but all of it is tied to you. So when you see this, that is your first period class. This is going to be your second. This would be your fourth or third, however you see it going. If you want to send a message to all classes at one time and all parents at one time, all you would have to do is click right here where it says all classes. So when I click that, notice now it's populated. So my 5th period, my 2nd period, 7th, there's no rhyme or reason. It's got parents and it's got students in it. But you're going, you know what? That's a little crazy to start off with. So I'm just going to X these out. And it doesn't look like they're leaving, but really they are. I see it kind of going really quick. I'm just clicking on that little bitty X that's out to the side. Notice that underneath, those classes are not affected. It's just taking them out. I changed my mind. I don't want to send it to every one of my parents and every one of my students. Maybe you have a group that has won something like a special field trip, or you've won, they're getting a special reward. And I only want to have my first period students and my first period parents. Now remember though, I have 2 first periods. So this one has a purple circle, but this one does not. See the difference? So I'm going to want to click on this first period also. So you should see 2 sets of parents and 2 sets of students. If you're wondering, how do I know which kids are in which class? How do I know what I'm sending? That is a great question, and that's a great wonder. So to find out who we're sending this to, you see these 3 little dots. As with when we see in Google, when we see anywhere, if you see 3 ellipses, go ahead and click on them. You're not going to hurt anything. So I'm going to click on these 3 little dots. And what this tells me is the top one is my student. The bottom 2 are the parents. So you have now a view of who is going to be getting this email, text, phone call, whichever one you choose. If you want just specific students, you would then click on the 3 ellipses again. So these three little dots. And then I could actually just choose specific students. And now it's got individuals in there instead of a whole class. So notice this period 1 now only has a blue circle and not a purple circle, because I have chosen specific individuals and not a whole class, as in this one. So it's really pretty interesting in how it determines who gets what message. But you're in control of that. You get to decide. So let's look at typing out our message. When I click in the email box, I do have a more. I like the carrots, those kind of arrows. I want to click to see what more gives me. And it really should, there we go. And when I click on more, this is like any other word processor or any type of thing you've seen. I can add in a picture. I can make something a web link. I can, if you're so bold, you can go to the source code and put in HTML. We have bold, italic, size, underline. You can change the font if you would like to. I can change the size. I can do the text color. I can do a background. You kind of get the idea. So for here, I could say, you know, thank you for, that's not good, for a wonderful year. It is sad we couldn't see each other. Whoa, I'm really getting bad. One last time. But let me fix this couldn't. So I get, you know, you kind of type some things in there. Notice down here in the bottom corner, it's got a paper clip. So you could put an attachment to it. So if I clicked on my paper clip, if I could speak, then I could do any type of document that I'd want to put with it. I don't want to mess with too much. Sure, let's go that one. So upload it. It's going to give me a little image right here to show me what it's uploaded. So this could be, maybe you wrote a little poem. Maybe you did something and you really want all your kids to see it. Or they sent you something and you want the rest of the class to see it. If you find out that you don't want it, just click on this X. And when you do, it automatically takes it out. So first, we do our subject. Then we choose who is to get this email. Who's the recipients? Who do we want to be able to read what we're doing? Then go in here and type your email. Now, if you're fine with just this little part where it says more if you want to go, and then you get to kind of decide, you can type out whatever you would like. I can also preview this and see what it would look like for the parents when they get it. So that eyeball, somewhat a little creepy, that something might be looking at you, but it's also for you to be able to see what the parents and or students would be seeing. I could make it full screen, or you can kind of look at a template. So let's look back down. We've gone from our subject, our recipients, and then down here where it says start time. Now the default is always 6 p.m. Depending on the time of day you start this, it could be 6 p.m. that day, or you could be 6 p.m. the next day. Well, I can choose when I want this to go out. So to change this, I'm just going to click right here where it says tomorrow. I could change the date. So maybe I want to technically last day of school is what, the 28th or 29th. We could set those up. The other thing is, notice right here, it says messages cannot be sent between 9 p.m. to 8 a.m. Well, if you've got a message that you really want out kind of first thing in the morning, the earliest you can send it, notice this turned red to let me know, okay, this is red, to let me know that 8 o'clock, you can't do that. So just delete the 0 and put a 1. So at 8:01 tomorrow morning, this message, whatever we set up back here, would go out. So now I'm going to click on save. The next thing I want to do is think about, okay, how different ways do I want to send this? I promise we'll get back to this languages down here, but just bear with me for right now. I have my message typed. I have everything I might need in here. So let's look at sending it as a text message. I'm going to click on text message. Notice you can have up to 120 characters, not words, characters. Now, if I try to go back, I'm like, you know what? I really want to put what this has in it. You do not have to copy and paste this. So when I'm back on my speech, my text, down in the right corner, the bottom right corner, I have 2 little pieces of paper. When I click on that, I can say copy content from. I want to copy it from my email into my text message. That way I'm not having to retype everything. Now, if you have a very wordy email, you are going to have to kind of tweak your text message so that it stays at 120 characters. So color is good. We've got color in the green, color in the teal. So we have these 2 ready. The last one to look at is our phone call. So again, instead of typing a script out, I have my little piece of papers down here in the corner. I click in the bottom right-hand corner. Since it's the same exact, I could choose either one. It really does not matter. I'll just stick with the email one. Now, I'm glad they have changed the number for, I apologize, I got kind of sidetracked. I'm glad they changed because the default used to be text to speech. And that would send a phone call to the parents as it's like a computer. You know, those robocalls that none of us like to get. So instead of the text to speech, keep it at either call me to record, and then you would actually put your phone number there. So you put your enter, you know, it's got the call me to record, enter your phone number address, and then call me. So you're telling the system to call you, and you are going to verbally say what is written here. Or you can say, I'm going to call you, the system. So it gives you a phone number. It gives you a code that you're going to enter. And then you're able to record your message, press the pound key, press 1 to save, you know, follow kind of the directions, and then you get to read what's written here. You could upload an audio file. Sometimes, though, you've got to be careful because they can't be too large. And that way, if it's too large, it won't go out and it would be tougher. And of course, we don't want to use text-to-speech. We have a built-in microphone with most laptops nowadays, the ones that the district has, so you don't really have to worry about the microphone because I'm using a microphone right now on my computer in order for us to do this. So when I've got all this set, you're going, okay, you said you'd bring up languages, and here's where I'm bringing up the languages. So underneath Save Messages, I have where it says Languages. If I click the arrow for Languages, it is showing me that out of my student population, 38% speak English at home, 62% speak Spanish. Well, goodness gracious, I want to make sure that my parents who speak Spanish primarily are getting this message in the language that they would understand. So watch carefully between the phone here, our message, our script, and when I click on Spanish here. So when I click on Spanish, it automatically translates it for us. So now if I click on my text bubble, it's in Spanish. When I click on my email, it's in Spanish. Now the English did not go away. You are seeing the color. Here's Spanish. And notice Spanish is highlighted down here. But if you want to go back and look at the English, you can click back on English. And now it is in the English format. So to go back and forth between the two languages, you would do English, Spanish, and just translate, or sorry, not translate, go to whichever one you choose from here. Now, here's something to remember though. If I make changes in my English here, I would have to go through my Spanish. Okay, I'd have to go here and see how it's got the little trash can. I would have to delete, so remove. So if delete kind of freaks you out, don't use it. I won't use delete. Remove the language. That doesn't mean you're getting rid of this. What it means is you're getting rid of the color. So I'd get rid of my email Spanish. I'd get rid of my text Spanish. I'd get rid of my phone call Spanish. So if I choose to remove this language, it's going to ask you, are you sure? I'm going to click OK. And then I highly suggest then you make the changes and then come back and add Spanish. If you make changes while you've already converted or translated it to Spanish, the new translation, the new words will not be translated. I hope that makes sense. So the beauty of this is that if the parents, through Focus, when they registered their student, said that they primarily speak Spanish at home, when I click on send, it will send the Spanish version of all of this. They will not get the English version. So it's not that every person's going to get both versions. If your family primarily speaks English at home, you would get the English version of all this. If the family speaks Spanish primarily at home, they would get the Spanish version. So that basically is Blackboard communication. You start with your message. So I'm in my email. I have a subject. I choose my recipients. Who do I want to have this message? Remember, if it's only specific, click on the 3 dots, those ellipses in the circle. And from here, you can choose, do I want the student and then maybe these parents? How do you want it to set up? You then get to choose. So I can either send to a whole class or I can send to different individuals. Now, where it says individuals 55, that has taken into account this class, meaning these two parents, the parents and students, and the ones I've selected from random classes. So, with that being said, you would then send your first message. After it's been typed, you choose how you want it to be sent. You click on send, but don't forget the language down here at the bottom.